Hi everyone, and welcome to Ask Danielle. I asked you guys on Snapchat and Instagram yesterday to send in your questions. If you think I look different, yeah, you're right. I'm actually wearing makeup today just because I had some time to do it in the morning. I'm not wearing foundation, but I just did eyes and lips and just for fun. I don't even know. I'm really shit at doing makeup. So anyway, so I'm so happy to see how many of you guys got back to me on Snapchat. It's actually crazy to try to get through all of these and quite a few videos. So I'm going to be sure to do the videos definitely first because I really love when you guys send videos. So without further ado, let's get started. We have a video from another Danielle. Let's start with Danielle Anderson. Turn up my volume.
Hello Danielle, from Danielle. I have two little kids around your girl's age and I was curious what you do with them all day to keep them entertained.
That's a good question. Well, in the summertime, we are usually outside basically all day or at least all afternoon. So Olivia's in kindergarten until 2 o'clock every single day, which is huge lifesaver for me. Yeah, if it were summer, me and Leia would definitely be out and about more often, but since it's winter time, I try to come up with little fun activities every now and then, like a craft project. It usually goes haywire, so I tend not to get out all the crafts too often because it's usually just really stressful. We try to do play dates with our neighbor friends 2 to 3 times a week because otherwise the kids just go crazy. And I actually want to make a video talking about kids going through a bit of a winter depression. It's not as severe usually with kids, but you will start to see their mood start to dwindle down when they're not playing outside as much, at least my kids. So I definitely like to try to take them out for walks, even if it's freezing cold. I marshmallow them up, I put on all their stuff, and then we go out for maybe 20 minutes or something like that, and it makes a huge difference. And actually we've made bath time part of the daytime activity now, so sometimes in the afternoon they'll hang out in the bath for half an hour to 45 minutes and I'll read a book.
Hey Danielle, I was just wondering what your go-to kid-friendly snack is. Say hi to Hagrid.
Hi Hagrid. My favorite go-to kitty snack, bananas. We actually have our drawer down there. This is what we call the banana and apple drawer. Yeah, sometimes bananas with almond butter or something like that. They love that. Oh, cashews. Leia loves cashews or any kind of nut, really.
Hi Danielle, my question is, what advice would you give to convince a very skeptical husband or partner to hire a birth doula?
Ooh, I love this one. Okay, because I go through this on a really regular basis. It's always the men that are the most skeptical. I have really found that the biggest selling point for men is, well, first of all, let's just talk about how men in their minds work. They love numbers, they love structure, they like facts. One of the first things that I talk about with them, and it's actually in my doula brochure, which I'll actually go get. Here's my doula brochure. It's going to be getting some work. I'm going to be changing some things up here, but here I have in the middle, why hire a doula? And usually what I say to the men and what's in my brochure is I have sort of a list of all of the statistics that show how doulas actually make a difference in how the outcome of the birth turns out. A lot of hospitals in the States are starting to recognize the difference that doulas are making. So in some states, doulas are covered at least partially by insurance. In Germany, unfortunately, nobody really knows what a doula is here. We're kind of spreading the word on our own. All of us doulas are suffering a little bit. So saying things to a guy like, doulas help reduce the chance of cesarean section by about 28% according to so-and-so study. However, also I think that men really need to feel comfortable with you, and I've actually had an easier time, believe it or not, in interviews. Even so, men are typically more skeptical about doulas. I personally have found that the men wanted to hire me straight away and the women were more skeptical about me. I'm not really sure why. It's really important that there's a connection there with the partner because believe it or not, you end up working on the same level with the father, if there is a father present, just because the mom is kind of in her own zone, in her own laboring mode. I think also making it clear to not just the men, but to the couples that, especially if they're planning on giving birth in hospital, I think there's a lot of things that can come up.
Hi Danielle, what is your advice on maintaining a good relationship with your family when you live in another country? Happy Valentine's Day and I hope you have a great day.
Oh, thank you. Hope you have a good Valentine's Day too. So we try to Skype. We don't really Skype that often just because the time difference is really, really tricky to work around. So we Skype maybe on the weekends. What does your hubby do for a living? Hey, that doesn't count. That doesn't count as a video when you write a question. He works for a company kind of like, oh gosh, I'm trying to say this in a way so that it doesn't give it away because it might, so I have to be careful. He basically kind of works with editing videos.
Hi Danielle, this is Rocky, and I have a question that when you started your vegan journey, did you ever felt like going back to your... So my question was, did you ever felt like going back and start eating all the cheese and meat that you were used to? So as a beginner, do you have any suggestions for a detox drink that anybody could start with?
Okay, so the first question, I'll answer that first. So, did I ever feel like going back? So, I never really felt like going back. However, I did in the beginning struggle with sticking to it, I suppose, to a certain degree. Not so much at home, but when I would go out to eat, I was finding that there was very limited options. And I think my biggest setback in my vegan journey was our trip to Barcelona. I ate like cupcakes because there was like this cupcake brand in Spain that like had an amazing variety of cupcakes, and they had like cream cheese frostings, and I had a whole bunch of those. And on my birthday I had a red velvet cake, and I had cheese when we were eating out. It was a little bit uncontrollable, and then something just kind of clicked around April. It was like April, I think it may have been even April 1st because I'm approaching now 2 years of veganism. I just realized how shit those products made me feel because I was off of them pretty much 100% for a few months, and I was like just in shock with how bad they made my body feel because I hadn't had them for a while. And I was like, you know what, this is it. No more of this monkey business. I'm like, I am going to stick to this. And I did from that moment forward, and it wasn't a difficult decision at all. The only thing that I have found to be really difficult about veganism is dealing with family who aren't and who question your lifestyle. It's mostly a social thing. As far as food goes, I haven't ever looked back. For me, being vegan is also a huge emotional thing, and I realize that it's not that way for everyone else. But for me, I just personally, if I feel in my heart that I wouldn't be able to slaughter an animal, why should I pay someone else to do the dirty work for me? Also with cow's milk, you know, it's also pretty cruel. I wouldn't feel right taking a mother's baby away from her just so that I can drink her milk or have, you know, some ice cream once in a while. It's just not worth it to me. Never really looked back since then. Oh, a special detox drink. I don't know. I would just recommend trying juicing on your own, like with fresh juices. I just drank a juice today that I actually felt was really detoxifying. It was orange, apple, and cilantro. And I mean, like, cilantro is really good at releasing heavy metals from your body. So yeah, I think that would be quite a good way to go. Or parsley, any of these herby things, but be careful with parsley. Apparently you can kind of overdose on it. But those really powerful herbs, like, I really found to be very detoxifying. Okay, so now we've just got like questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and start answering some questions. How many more children would you like? Have you decided on continuing to raise your family in Germany? We don't know how many kids we like. You know, we've even considered like, what about just 2? It sounds so not like us, but I think that we're just going through like such an exhausting transition phase that the idea of more kids is just making us kind of sick. Well, at least it does me. If hubby could actually be the pregnant one next time and breastfeed and stay home for 3 years, then fine. I would be happy to have more, but biologically, I'm the only one who can really do that. Oh, speaking of kids. Oh! Have you got a balloon? How cool. Let me see your face. Aww.
Mama.
Yeah. And then Leia comes around and then she's like, oh, come on, Mom. You wouldn't want to have another one like me? Yeah, I would. Not that I wouldn't want to have one like your sister, but oh my goodness, your sister was exhausting.
Yeah.
She still is.
Yeah, Olivia gives me Olivia.
You played with Olivia. She's speaking German. She's also speaking a bit sloppy German. I think probably one more after this. I would love to have 4, but because we're taking such a large gap now, like we're looking into quite a large one. I'm probably going to be like in my late 20s by the time we have another, and I would kind of like to be done having kids in my early 30s. That way, you know, we can retire from having kids and go do some traveling on our own. So I'm thinking probably one more, but you never know. Plus, I'm a little worried about, I mean, I know it's selfish maybe, but I'm a little worried about the damage that having another baby is going to do to my stomach. Maybe that's kind of a selfish reason.
Mommy.
The first 2 really went for it. So yeah, you're making mommy look so ugly because you're so cute. Because your skin is so perfect. Okay. Oh, I think there was another question in there. I can't remember it now. And now I can't. That's the thing about Snapchat, is it always gets deleted. Okay, Leia was starting to get a little crazy, so I had to put her away. Usually when I film these kinds of videos, I put her on the iPad because I have no choice. Otherwise she will be here and she'll be like tearing the camera down, which is what she was doing. Okay, so the last question is, what is your opinion on gender disappointment? I've been seeing a lot of videos made about this lately. Have you ever experienced this yourself? Gender disappointment. Yeah, I watched actually a couple videos on this, and I have to say that most of the time I found them to be a little dramatic. Some of them, I'm not going to name any names, but I think that sometimes people are blowing it a little bit out of proportion. Let's see, so I have 2 girls. Obviously I don't have the perfect family dynamic, the boy and the girl, it's fine. I actually love having 2 girls. I think it would be boring if everyone's family dynamic were exactly the same. That being said, I will say that I knew that I always wanted to have at least 1 daughter. If that never happened, I'm sure I would move on and be happy with my sons. But I did have a slight preference in Olivia's pregnancy to have a girl. Very, very slight, just because I wanted to know that I was going to have a daughter at one point in my life, because I've always just really wanted to have a daughter. I have had a hard time picturing myself as a boy mom. When I was pregnant with Leia, I really thought she was going to be a boy. And there was not really any disappointment when we accidentally found out she was a girl, but I was surprised, and it did take some time to readjust. Alright, so that is all I'm going to answer for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys in our next vlog. We're in the countdown to San Francisco now. I hope you guys are looking forward to following us on that big journey. So, see you guys really soon!